Good morning, parents and students. Once again, we are now in second quarter and week 4 of our math lessons entitled Multiplies decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1 to 2 digit whole numbers and multiplies decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places. So this time, we are now done with addition and subtraction. So we'll proceed now on with multiplying decimals. So ibig sabihin, it's a different kind of operation na. So mag-multiply na tayo. Siyempre, before we start, kailangan you know your multiplication table. Kailangan sa ulo na siya dahil you will find it really hard multiplying numbers kapag hindi mo siya sa ulo. So I suggest na you know how to multiply numbers so that this will be as easy as multiplying whole numbers. Okay? So let's proceed with the lesson. So this is the problem. Okay? So let's try to read the problem. Mr. De La Cruz purchased a brand new car and he found out that it can travel 23 and 61 hundredths kilometers per hour. How is going again? Mr. De La Cruz purchased a brand new car and he found out that it can travel 23 and 61 hundredths kilometers per hour. He is going to Bicol and it will be a 12-hour driving. How far can it travel in 12 hours? Now, this is an example of a word problem katulad nung last lesson during the week 3. That's about answering word problems. We will be using the same approach that we had last week. Kailangan natin yung U, P, and S. So U stands for understanding or understand. P stands for plan. And then S is solve. Okay? So yun. So as you can see in this lesson, we are given with the data. So analyze natin yung problem para hindi kayo nalilito. So that whenever we answer word problems, you know how to do. So ayun muna natin to dito. So let us start. So number 1 is U. Okay? U is understand. So in understanding, we need to know what is asked. And then, what are the given data? And then for the P, that is plan. So in planning, we need to know the operation needed to solve for the answer. And you have to know the number sentence. Ito din yung lesson noong nakaraang linggo. That is answering word problems. And then, syempre, yung S, that means solve. Solving for the answer. So, yan na yun. So, you need to know that what is asked, what is given, or what are given, the operation, and the number sentence. So, punta muna tayo dun sa A. So, burahin natin to. Punta tayo doon sa what is asked. So what is asked is how far can it travel in 12 hours? Gaano daw kalayo ang matatravel niya kung 12 oras siya na nagda-drive. Okay? Next one is what are the given data? Ito yon. Ito yung data that we will use to solve for the answer. Sabi dyan, we have here, it's a 2-digit whole number, yung 12. Okay? Okay, it's a 2-digit whole number. And then the other one is 23 and 61 hundredths kilometers. Ito yung mga data natin. Now, what is the operation? So, the operation, as we have said in our title, in the topic, it is about multiplication of decimals. So, syempre, gagamitin natin ay multiplication. So, how is that? Ganito. There are two ways wherein you can solve this. Kaya lang, syempre, doon tayo sa mas madali. Pakita lang natin kung paano. So, ano ba yung mangyayari yon? So, ito yon. In horizontal form, ganito yung mangyayari. That will be 12 times 23 and 61 hundredths kilometers. Or, pwede mo naman yung baliktaran. You can make it na 23 and 61 hundredths times 12 equals n. So, pwede mo siyang pagbaliktaran. Usually kasi mas madaling mag-multiply kapag yung multiplier natin sa baba o yung multiplier natin ay mas kaunti compared doon sa number na nasa itaas. Okay? So, that's the horizontal form. And, meron naman yang, or pwede yan na, yung mas madali is the vertical form. Yan, no? Ito yung sinasabi ko na it will be easy na mag-multiply tayo if we're going to multiply numbers in the vertical form at mas madami yung digit na nasa babaw. For a while. Okay. So, ayan. So, makikita natin dito, ito ang gagamitin natin yung vertical form. So, 23 and 61 hundredths kilometers, that's a 4-digit factor. And then we have times 12, which is a 2-digit factor. Kung mapapansin natin, in this example, dito, meron tayong decimal point. Ayun. See that? Again. Meron tayong decimal point. Ayun ang decimal point niya. Pero, in this example, wala siyang decimal point. So, walang problema. There's nothing to worry about it kasi mas madali nga yan. So, let's now find the answer. Okay? So ang sabi dyan, multiply the numbers as if you are multiplying whole numbers until you get the product. Count the number of decimal places in the factors, and this is also the number of the decimal place in the product. And then, so let's look at the illustration. So ito yung kanyang naging example. So we'll do that also para mas makuha ninyo. We'll do that step by step para hindi tayo malito. Okay? So this is now the answer. Let's try if we can find the same answer. Okay? So let's set this aside first. So the given numbers are 23 and 61 hundredths times 12. Now dito, since we are multiplying, ang gawin natin na the numbers are in column here, starting from the right side. So that's the best way of multiplying the numbers. Now, ang sabi nga kanina, you multiply as if you are multiplying whole numbers. Remember, meron yang decimal point dyan, ha? So, assume mo na wala yan. You can think na ang number mo ay 2,361. Kasi you are going to multiply it just like that. Pero remember, meron yan dyang decimal point. Okay? So, isipin mo muna na wala yan. Okay? So, multiply the numbers as if you are multiplying whole numbers. Okay? So, 2 times 1, we have there 2. 2 times 6, we have here 12. So, the next one, the-group natin dun yung 1. 2 times 3, we have 6. Plus 1, we have 7. 2 times 2, we have 4. Okay? So, that is the first part. Okay. We're done multiplying the 2. So, we will now multiply the 1. Okay? Paano ba yon? As you can see, since 2 ay nasa 1's place, nakatapat yung sagot niya. Next, since ang 1 ay nasa 10's place, kailangan ang pagsagot katapat din niya. So, you're just going to multiply it with the rest of the numbers on top. Katulad ng ginawa natin. Ito, multiply doon. Multiply doon. Multiply doon. Multiply doon. Kaya naging 4,722 dito. Now, yung sa 1, ganun din. We're also going to multiply that with 1. Multiply with 6. Multiply with 3. Multiply with 2. Okay? Ganun din yan, ha? For a while, aga. So, multiply na natin yung 1. So, we have 1 times 1. We have here 1. 1 times 6, we have here 6. 1 times 3, we have here 3. 1 times 2, we have here 2. So, ayan. And then, we're going to add. Kasi pa ba? Okay. So, adjust natin. So, we have here 2. We have here 3. 7 plus 6, that's 13. By group 1, that's 8. And then 2. Now, balikan mo ngayon yung given number mo. Yung given number is 23 and 61 hundredths. Tandaan mo, meron tayo yung decimal place dito, or decimal point, 1. Now, mula dun sa decimal point, we count the numbers on its right side, yung nasa kanan. So, ano ba yon? You have here, this one, 6, and then 1. Ilan sila? That is 2 decimal places. So, kapag ganun ang nakuha mo sagot, since you have 2 decimal places, at dito, wala, 0 kasi wala naman tayong decimal point dyan. So, 0 decimal place. All in all, 2 plus 0, you have 2. Therefore, we have only 2 decimal places. Since you have only 2 decimal places in your factors, magkakaroon ka lang din ng 2 decimal places in your answer. So, starting from the right, move mo siya ng 2 beses. 1, 2. Doon ang iyong decimal point. So, if we're going to compare that to the given or to the problem, we have the same answer. 283 and 32 hundredths. So, yan yung kanyang na travel. Okay? So, that is the example. So, ayan, no? So, to answer the problem, the car can travel 283 and 32 hundredths kilometers in 12 hours. So, yan yung ating parang sagot sa word problem. Now, punta tayo dito sa check your understanding. So, this time, gamitin naman natin yung sa decimal places. Okay? Para hindi kayo malito. We'll just, without multiplying, let's just try to, know the number of the decimal places. Okay? So, dito, para hindi tayo malito. Okay? So, yung sa number 1, the given number is 4. Ano ba? Ito nyo ba? Okay. So, ito muna tayo. Para hindi kayo malito. Dito, ang gawin muna natin is let's try to find out how many decimal places there are. Okay? So, yun na natin, ha? Dito tayo magsagot. Okay, so we have here iliit na natin. Isa-isayin na natin. Okay, here, this is the decimal point. And then this is the decimal point. Can you see it? Okay. So there is a decimal point here. And there's another decimal point here. So how many numbers can you find on the right side of the decimal point? Okay. So decimal point here, there's a digit here. Decimal point here, there's a digit here. So how many are they? 1, 2. Therefore, 2 decimal place. Okay? 2 decimal places rather. Okay? So, ayan. Next, punta tayo sa pangalawa. We have here the decimal point and we have here the decimal point. Okay? From the decimal point, ilan yung number sa kanan? We have here. And on this side, meron tayong decimal point dito and we have here the decimal places here. Now, count the number of decimal numbers. So, we have here 1, we have here 2, and then we have here 3. So, therefore, we have 3 decimal places. Okay? So, that's it. Let's go to the third one. And the third one, we have here the decimal point here, and another decimal point here. How many decimal places? So, ayan. And this one. Bilangin natin yung decimal place. We have here 1, 2, and then 3. Therefore, we also have 3 decimal places. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, here. Dalawa na lang naman sila. Okay, so set. We have here the decimal place here. We have here the decimal place, the decimal point, and then the decimal point. And then bilangin yung number na nasa right side. Yan. And yan. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have here 4 decimal places. Again here, decimal point, bilangin yung numbers. So we have here these numbers, and we have here these numbers. I'm sorry, napalaki yung circle ko. Okay, ulitin natin. So this is the decimal point, and then these are the decimal numbers. Bilangin. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we also have 4 decimal places. So that's how we would know the number of decimal place that we will put in the product. So yun ang ilalagay natin na bilang ng decimal point. Okay, so let's try to answer. Sagutan natin yung isang number, yung number 1 to binigay naman na dun yung sagot. Okay, so let's try to answer the first one. Ito. This one, we have here, we have there 4 and 4/10 times 3 and 5/10. Okay, so multiply natin like multiplying whole numbers. 5 times 4, you have there 20. Put 0 and then 2. 5 times 4, again you have 20 and then you have 2, 22. 3 times 4, that will give you 12. We group 1. 3 times 4, again, that will also give you 12. Plus 1, you have 13. And add 0, 4, 5, 1. Okay? And then, balik kayo dito. Balik dito. Hanapin ang decimal point. Decimal point. Decimal point. Bilangin yung numbers na nasa kanan. May isa dito. May isa dito. Add mo. 1 plus 1. You have 2 decimal places. So, in your answer, you also need to have 2 decimal places. The number of the decimal point in your answer should be the same as the number of your decimal places in your given numbers. So, kung dito merong isang decimal point at isang decimal point, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 2 decimal places. Pagdating dito, mula sa kanan, move mo dalawa. 1, 2. So, ang sagot natin ay 15 and 40 hundredths. So, let's see kung we have the same as the answer as we have in the example. Tingnan natin. 2 decimal places. See? 15 and 40 hundredths. 15 and 40 hundredths. Now, as a bonus, let's try to answer the next one. Let's answer this one as a bonus. Okay, so we have here. So, ito ang sasagutan natin. So, we have 2 and 2/10 times 0 and 45 hundredths. Now, kung nalilito ka dito dahil siya ay mas marami dito kaysa sa taas, pwede mong balik na rin. So, you can use 0 and 45 hundredths times 2 and 2/10. Okay? Pwede to. It's up to you kung saan kayo mas magiging madali. Okay? So, ito na lang kasi siya yung mas marami. Again, you multiply as if you are multiplying whole numbers. 2 times 5, you have 10, the group 1. 2 times 4, you have 8. Plus 1, you have 9. 2 times 0, you have 0. Again, next, remember, disregard the decimal point when you multiply. Kunyari, isipin nyo muna na wala kayong decimal point. So, na-multiply na natin yung 2. Sunod natin yung 2. So, since pareho naman sila, I guess, I'm pretty sure na the answer will serve the same. So, 2 times 5, you have your 10. Group 1 again. 2 times 4, that's 8 plus 1, you have 9. 2 times 0, so 0. Add. Still C. Okay, let's move a bit. Okay, so 0, 9, 9, 0. Now, sorry. Mamaya na yan. Now, bilangin natin yung kanyang decimal place. We have here the decimal point. Ito yung ating decimal place. We have here the decimal point. We have here the decimal place. Bilangin mo yung lahat ng number. 1, 2. 45 siya. Dalawang digit yon. So, that's 2. We have here decimal point 1. Add 2 plus 1 equals 3. Therefore, you need to have 3 decimal places. So, nasagot mo, mula dun sa pinakakanang part, bilang ka lang ng 3. 1, 2, 3. So, doon ang iyong decimal point. Okay? So, that's how you multiply decimal numbers. Again, there are only 2 rules. One is you multiply as you multiply whole numbers. And then 2, yung second rule, the number of the decimal place in the factors should be the same as the number of the decimal place you have in your answer. Sa madaling salita or in Tagalog, kung ilan ang decimal place dito, kung ilan ang decimal place dyan, ganun din dapat ang decimal place mo sa iyong sagot. So, hanapin ang decimal point, bilangin ang mga numbers, 1, 2, 3. So, dahil may 3 digit, 3 din dapat sa iyong sagot. So, mula dun sa pinakakanan, 1, 2, 3. Okay? That's how you get the answer. Okay, now, there are activities written in the module. So, you just have to answer them. And don't forget, in the post-test, 1 to 10 yan, you are going to pass me the content in the post-test. So, copy the problem, and then you choose your answer. Kung letter A, isulat kung kasama ng letter A. Kung letter B ang sagot, isulat kung ano yung kasama ng letter B. So, again, copy the problem, and then yung answer. Okay? So, yun lang. So, that's how we multiply numbers. So, I hope you learn. So, kung hindi ninyo naintindihan, you can always go back and start the video so that madali mong maiintindihan. Okay? So, salamat sa Department of Education, SDO Muntinlupa, for providing, syempre, the modules that we use. And stay safe, everyone. Goodbye.